Cynthia. It's always a pleasure catching up with you. I feel like it's been a minute
Thank
since
you.
we've chatted.
It has been a minute.
lots
Yes, it's time to
of,
talk.
yes, lots has been going on, and I'm so happy that you are back on Housewives. What's it been like
Thank you.
rewatching, or watching these first few episodes back?
You know what? It's like first of all, it's like riding a bike. Like once you're back in, you're back in. A little bit of mafia as well. Like you never quite get out. Once a housewife's always a housewife, or at least, for me, I come back in an official friend role this time, which is a great space for me for someone who's been a housewife for over a decade to just come and stay connected to the women that I have organic relationships with already and get to know these newbies that are coming in hot for Atlanta. I really have a great feeling about season 16, and I can pretty much say I think Atlanta is back.
Atlanta is officially back. I mean, these first few episodes, are, chef's kiss. So good. They really are. And like you said, the
Thank
newbies
you.
come in hot. But I
Oh yeah.
love how we're mixing, the OGs with the
Oh
newbies, and
yes.
it's a great combination. I mean, was what made you want to return? And was there any convincing, or was it now the right time for you?
You know what? I took a little break from the show for a couple of years, and again, after doing it for so long, I felt like I needed to do that for myself. I really wanted to focus on my acting career. That's still my number one priority. And coming back in a friend role was a way that I could still focus on my acting career and pop in and out as a friend of the show. It's a space that just kind of works for me where I'm at this point in my life. And I love the fans. I miss the fans. No matter what I do, no matter how many other shows I go on, every time I see my fans or supporters, in my travels, they're like, "When are you coming back to Housewives?" I'm like, "I just left. Like I haven't been gone that long." So I just appreciate that I've been able to still, come back and forth, and be, a friend to the show at this point, which is, like almost a full circle moment for me. Like I invented the friend contract, so it was only right that I signed one this season, right?
It's so true. Would you ever want to hold a full-time Peach again? Or are you comfortable with where you're at right now?
I don't know, honestly. I will never say never, but I will say 1000% not right now. I really love the friend role for myself because I really have I have a lot of other things that I'm focused on. I got a new boo. I got like, being a housewife takes a lot of my time. I have to really completely clock in as a housewife because I have to, share my story. I have to share my life. I have to share my kid, all the things. And I'm just enjoying kind of, cheering everyone on a little bit more from the sidelines a little bit. Although I'm in season 16 quite a bit. I do get to go on the trips. You guys have so much more. Like we're only like at episode 4, but when I tell you, you guys are in for the ride of your life because we're just getting started.
Right, we are just scratching the surface. And like you said, you
Oh
have
yeah.
so much going on. How's Noelle doing?
Nope, Noelle is doing amazing. Thank you for asking.
Good, good. And like you said, new boo. I will probably
New
not so
boo.
not probably not so new anymore, right? Because you can new
Yeah,
to us.
new to you guys.
Yes.
New to you guys. Dating a really gorgeous, sexy, loving musician from Amsterdam. And we've been together almost a year now. And we're outside. We're outside. Thank you, TMZ, for outing us. That kind of happened before we had initially planned for it to happen. I, in my mind, was planning on doing it for my birthday party that I did in conjunction with my Bella magazine cover. That was, I was going to be, have my wig on, have my makeup done, and, it was like put his hat on, and then we're going to pop out. But TMZ caught us before that and, pretty much outed us. So on one hand, I was like, oh man, but on the other hand, it kind of feels good to be just out and free in the world. I kind of joke with him. I'm like, okay, well now you're no longer in the witness protection program anymore. Like you get to roam the streets freely with me. And it feels good. Although we did make the intentional conversation, well, intentional choice together to not be on social media together. You won't see us posting together. That's how we were able to avoid a lot of attention before, and that we decided to do because I just personally don't feel like social media is a loving, positive place for celebrity relationships. It can be quite judgmental and toxic. So we are choosing to stay off of social media together, but we are all the way outside in real life.
Good. Well, I'm sure that was, probably gave you some time to really get to know each
Yes,
other without,
yes.
all the attention, I would imagine.
Absolutely. We have been bubbled up and now we are out of the bubble. But I think that, for someone who's been through two marriages and two very public divorces, and just always having been public with my relationships, I really felt like if God sent me someone that I really liked, I really wanted to do my part to really protect the relationship for as long as I can. Um, and that's what I did. Like we bubbled up for a minute and we really it was a great way to get to know each other without outside influences. What happens when you put your life out there on social media, especially your love life? You basically invite the comments, you invite the opinions because of course they're like, well, if you don't want us talking about it, why are you posting about it? So yeah, we're not doing that. And it's working for us. And I'm excited to see where this relationship goes.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, is marriage in the cards for you again, or is that something that maybe you're open to?
It's not a deal breaker. It's definitely not a deal breaker for me. I've been there, done it. I have the receipt. I have the sticker. I have the t-shirt. So I will never say never. He's never been married before, so I don't want to take that from him if it's something, if we really, want to go to the next level, if he wants that. That's something I will consider, but I'm completely fine with shacking up, whatever we have to do, spending time in Amsterdam, spending time at Lake Bailey together. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. We're not there yet, but that's a conversation that will be a conversation between us if we decide to take it to the next level.
Definitely. I know that you're keeping him off social media, but will you be keeping him off Housewives if you decide to come back next season?
Oh, well, you know what? As a friend, I'm not obligated to make him a part of it. But this season, it just was like, I go on the trips with the ladies. Being an official friend pretty much means I'm involved in quite a few in the filming process. The trips, I do confessionals, doing the after show, like all of the things. So you do see me FaceTiming with him a couple times because if he calls and I'm filming, grabbing and the cameras may zoom in or whatever. I don't know. His face may be blurred or maybe a heart on his face. I don't know. I haven't seen that what they're planning on. Now that we're out, they can just show whatever. But yeah, he pops up a little bit, but only on my phone.
All right, well that's nice, but friend of like you can kind of dip in and out of the drama and decide what you want to divulge and not divulge. I like that.
Yes. Yeah, it's a good, I've given a lot over the
Yes, you
years. Like
have.
I said, two marriages, two divorces. My daughter came out as fluid on the show. The Bailey Q's, the Bailey Bowls, the Bailey Wine Cellar. Like I just have given a lot over the years to the point I actually forgot how much I gave. I was actually in my hotel in LA and I caught season 4, 5, and 6, and I actually haven't watched myself in on some of the older episodes in a long time, and I actually was able to look at myself after stepping away and really look at the show as a show. And when I tell you I get the obsession. I get it. Like it's good. I was like, this is good. This is good TV. And I just completely took myself out of the fact that I was one of the people that was a part of that ensemble and just enjoyed it. I get it. I get the housewife craze.
I mean, as a longtime housewife viewer, I guess it's an obsession. It really is. But like you said, we're just kind of scratching the
Yes.
surface on
Hmm.
everything that goes on in the season, and definitely took
Yes,
a unexpected turn with
it
Kenya
did.
and
Hmm.
everything going on with that. I know that you have said that you were disappointed about the way it goes down, and it seems like next
Yeah.
episode we're going to kind of get the answers. Do you
Yeah.
feel like it was justified in having her kind of take a step back from the show?
I I I didn't expect I didn't expect anything to happen really. I just was personally like, I felt like how Kenya responded was just beneath Kenya. And that was where I left it. I really didn't know what to expect or if anything at all would happen in that. Do I feel like it's justified? I don't really know. I don't know what the network what the investigation was. I don't know how they came to the choice that they did, but I know that losing Kenya didn't help us at all. It was definitely like we were literally the dream team. Bravo spent a lot of time putting, with curating their vision for season 16 with exactly the cast that started this whole season 16 journey together. And it's just really unfortunate that the fans don't get to see it play out with that official cast that they put together, that they took a while to find and get that right balance of the old and the new. And Kenya certainly is one of the most polarizing housewives in the history of housewives. So it's like I keep saying, it's like I felt like we are going to the Super Bowl, and when we got there, we lost one of our most valuable players. So it was tough, and it was a little sad to move on without her. But we had to continue making the show, and I hope that I love Kenya. I'm always gonna love Kenya. I don't think we've seen the last of her.
I don't think so. I was gonna say, right? I know. Do you
Yes.
feel like she would want to come back? Because I know, like, I spoke to her. She said, like, her truth is gonna come out. I know that she's been tweeting, especially since that
Yes.
last episode aired. Have you spoken to her at all?
I have not spoken to her since everything happened, and that is me just being in the space, respecting her process. I reached out, I called during that time, and at the end of the day, I have a real friendship with Kenya, and she knows that when she's ready to talk, I am here. I will, be happy to, pick up where we left off.
Yeah. Do you feel like Brittany kind of had it out for her, especially like watching that the last episode? Like I said, I don't know what goes on this episode, but watching the last episode, it seems like she was kind of teeing her up a little bit.
You know what? I That was not the experience that I had with Brittany. So, and again, I wasn't there in the times that I was around Brittany and and Kenya. I didn't pick up that energy, but again, I wasn't there when everything happened. So I'm actually not really the right one to ask that question. I was still getting to know Britt, and the reason why I took the position I did with Kenya, because I know Kenya. I know Kenya, and I know I just held her to a standard that I hold for my friends, and I just felt like it was not good for Kenya. I just felt like she was bigger, and I felt like this was the way she responded was just beneath her. And I'm always going to want my friends to win. It really, what ended up happening ultimately was taking the focus off what was the most important part of the event, was all her incredible hard work to bring this Kenya Moore hair care salon to fruition. And I know how hard she's been working on that, and what this is like a lifelong dream of hers, and it's just really unfortunate that it was overshadowed by the events that took place.
But then we get Phaedra. She comes back
We
later
get
on this
Phaedra
season.
back.
We get
Yeah,
Phaedra back.
listen. I'm telling you, if there's one word that describes the season, it's unpredictable, because we never we never thought we would lose Kenya. We never saw Phaedra coming. So at the end of the day, we're going to get past everything that happened. And you guys are in for a treat, because the show there's so many things coming up. We have trips coming up, that, and you guys know it goes down on those trips.
Oh,
So
always. I always look
because we
forward to a girl's trip.
absolutely, absolutely.
Absolutely. How did
Yeah.
the energy shift when Phaedra came in?
Oh, Phaedra's like great TV, and she hasn't been on the show in a while. And we were excited to have her back. Her fans are excited to have her back, and again, she's right up there with Kenya. She's one of the best to ever do it. She and her prayer cloth came right on back in and got to work.
And that is work. Yeah. Was it tough? I didn't know that. I didn't think that Dennis was going to be such a hot topic of conversation this season. But what has it been like watching Portia kind of, deal? It feels like she's dealing with a lot this season. But how do you feel like
Yes, she
she's
is.
handled it?
Better than I think any of us could have handled it. Like, you have to realize, Portia is going through a very messy divorce. That's not only like outside of this show, it's playing out like daily on social media, most of the time. And that's tough. I take my hat off to her that she, is still able to get up and do what she needs to do, because that's not easy. It's just not easy. So I commend her to for just keeping it going, and trying to get on the other side of the divorce. I'm sad that she and Simon were not able to work it out. I actually went to their wedding, and I always say, Portia and I kind of the same when it comes to love. We fall hard and fast, and sometimes it serves us and sometimes it doesn't. So, um, I love that she and Dennis have a great co-parenting relationship, and he does pop up this season with Drew, and that's a whole other conversation. We talk about that a lot, but in Drew's words, Dennis was her savior, blessing, gift from God, whatever it is. And as much as I wouldn't work with anyone's baby daddies, husbands, or whatever, film with anyone related to the cast, if the Lord sent Dennis to Drew, then I'm never going to go against God. I
God has a
receive.
plan. What and I know that you kind of also have like another Housewives reunion coming up because I know you're on this show on Hulu. Got the Gotta Get Out. It looks so great, and I know Kim Zolciak is also on it. What was
Yes.
that experience like? What was it like connecting with her?
Oh, it was so much fun. The interesting thing is Kim and I never really connected or were really close on Housewives. So now we end up in a house with 20 other people. It's almost like an escape room, if you will, but a house, which I suck at escape rooms, by the way. So I don't know how I end up on these shows, but anyway, someone thought to cast me on it. In any case, we end up being roommates. Kim's on bed is to my right, Omarosa's to my left. And it's like seeing Omarosa was like, oh my God, the goat is here. Like, she's like so great at these type of reality show competitions. And Kim and I really got a chance to bond and connect. And I really got a chance to know her. You stick to, you lock people in the house, you have no choice but to get to know each other. So we came out in a great place. I love Kim. I got a chance to talk to her a little bit about, all the different things that she has going on. And her situation was very sad to hear because I was actually a part of the show when she and Croy met. And, they had this beautiful family now. And, I'm sending her lots of hugs and strength because what she's going through is not easy either because her marriage is also playing out in the media as well.
Yeah, no, definitely. Would you want to see her come back on Housewives?
I'm totally open to it. 1000%. Yeah. Kim's great TV.
Yeah, definitely. What was like? Was there anybody else on that show that you were thrilled to see? Like you said, Omarosa, the goat, was there. We got Spencer from The Hills. There's
Spencer's
all
there.
Val from Dancing with the
Yes.
Stars, things like that.
Yes, those were the only ones that I knew of that when I started the season with. We have some amazing people that you guys are going to be excited to get to know through the show. That like we make a great show together. So it's like kind of like Housewives. We had a little bit of old school reality TV people, and then we had like new school like influencers and just different people that also are like doing very well in their own space who are great TV as well. So you guys make sure you tune in. It's such a crazy ride. You don't even have to wait for like it to like spread out. Like you literally can just binge watch the whole season once it drops April 11th. So I'm excited for you guys to see how it all plays out.
I am too. What was it like seeing what other people would do for money, like the lengths that they would go to for this prize
Oh,
money?
let me tell you something. You lock 20 people in a house and told them they could win up to $1 million. People get very crafty. It's like, all of a sudden you're like, just so you're clear, we're not friends. It's every man's game. So yeah, people definitely got very creative for sure. It was so interesting for me. I my superpower is that I'm never perceived as a threat in any reality show situation, especially a competition. And I'm usually one of the older ones in there, one of the nicer ones. So they're just like, okay, we'll get to Cynthia later. Let's get some of the big boys out first, the ones that can actually win this thing. And I just, just like in Celebrity Big Brother, I just slide on through to the end. I literally just blend in with the furniture. And then finally they wake up and go, wait a minute, Cynthia Bailey's still in the house. We got to get this girl out of here. So you
I
never know
love
what
it.
can happen. You never know what can happen with me. I'm telling you, that is my being a non-threat to any competition type reality show is my gift that I have. And it's just funny when people realize that I may not win the game, but I'm in the game.
Right.
I'm in the game. I'm actually
Hey,
not the furniture.
hey, the strategy works. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, right?
There you go.
Well, Cynthia, it is always a pleasure catching up with you. I'm so glad. Like I said, it's been way too long, so it's always such a pleasure catching up.
Oh, same. Always good to see you. Take
Thank
care.
you
And
so much.
enjoy like you're in for a ride. Keep
I
watching
can.
season.
I am locked and loaded, ready to watch. Can't wait. Thank you so
Okay, thank
much.
you.